Who does not want to know how to teach a child responsibility? That is an important thing for adults to know how to do. I'm Nicolene Tech, and I teach parenting. I teach self-government, relationships, communication all over the world. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you some of my tried and true principles for how you can teach your child responsibility. In this video, I'm going to share with you 3 things that you can do to teach your child to take responsibility for themselves. It is possible, I promise. I've worked with my own 4 children as well as many treatment foster children all over the world, and after over 20 years of teaching, I have seen parents teach their children responsibility again and again. The first thing that you can do to teach your child responsibility is to teach them that they can self-govern. So what is self-government? Self-government is being able to determine the cause and effect of any given situation and possessing a knowledge of your own behaviors so that you can control them. That means that you can understand cause and effect, and you can analyze yourself and make plans for which direction you want to go so that you have the most desirable outcomes. Children can learn this. They need to know that they have that type of power and ability. In fact, in all my years of teaching the principles and skills of self-government, I have seen children from ages 2 all the way up to adulthood learn the skills of self-government. And what's more inspiring, I see the parents learn how to govern themselves too. A key part of teaching a person self-government is giving them the skills that they need for success. So inside our brains, we all are formatted like robots. I know that sounds kind of sad, but it's true. We teach ourselves how to respond to similar situations the same way that we have responded to a situation before. If something happens and we tell ourselves a certain thought and say certain words, the next time that something like that occurs, we will think the same thought and say the same words. This means we've got to have new skills in place in order to not say or do the things that we don't want to do anymore. So if you want your children to take responsibility, there are key things that they can learn. In fact, there are 4 basic skills that I teach parents in order to teach their children responsibility. And here's a little tip for you. Everyone should know these 4 basic skills, not just the children, but the parents too. In fact, there's also parent skills I teach called the 5 teaching styles. I'm not going to get into those in this video. Those are covered in my trainings that I do on my website, but in this video, we will touch on these 4 basic skills briefly. The first of the 4 basic skills is following instructions. This is probably the most important skill to teach a child so that they learn to take responsibility. To follow instructions, there are 5 steps. You look at the person or situation, keep a calm face, voice, and body, say okay, meaning you accept that you have to do whatever it is, or disagree appropriately, do the task immediately, and then check back. When a person does those 5 things, they're following instructions. So teaching a child to take responsibility requires first giving them instructions, having them follow through with that 5-step process again and again, and then over time soon, they will start telling themselves what to do. It's true. If your child practices following instructions enough, they will just naturally start giving themselves instructions as well. So the other skills that are part of the 4 basic skills are accepting no answers and criticism, accepting consequences, and disagreeing appropriately. Each one of those skills also has a skill set attached to it. When your children learn these 4 basic skills, that transforms not only their communications with you, but also their communications with themselves, which helps them guide themselves to do more things that are required for taking personal responsibility. Before I get to my final point, I want to know if these skills sound useful to you. If you think these skills are useful, give this video a thumbs up. A key part of creating an environment where a person learns self-government, meaning they are going to take responsibility for themselves, is they have to have a time of accountability. So in our family, we have 3 different meetings every week. One of those meetings is for the couple relationship. One of those meetings is for the full family, and the other meeting is for the parents to have one-on-one with each child each week. In all of these meetings, every member of the family is taking personal responsibility and solving problems together with the other people. So in a family meeting, we might decide as a family that we have a difficulty with people not remembering to take their dishes over to the sink after meals. Well, then the family decides on what the negative and positive consequences are going to be if a person chooses not to follow this instruction. Remember that skill that they have, following instructions? Well, it's going to come in handy when you're having meetings. And then the family plans and takes votes on what types of consequences that they're going to put in place if a person doesn't follow that instruction when the time arrives. So they take ownership over the decisions that are being made in the home in these meetings. When they take ownership for the decisions being made, then it's far more likely that they will actually control themselves when the time comes. Another meeting that is vital for helping children learn to take responsibility for themselves in all aspects of their life is the mentor meeting. That's that one-on-one meeting that the child has with their parents. In this meeting, they're going to be discussing their relationships, their social skills, their academics, as well as their chores and responsibilities at home. So, with the parent, the child makes a plan for how to do better academically, to follow through on homework and other assignments, as well as how to remember to do their responsibilities that they have for the home. If the child does not follow through on the things decided in that meeting, well, there's probably going to be some negative consequences attached to some of the decisions that they make for the plans for that child, but also there will always be another meeting where the parents meet with the children to check up on how things are going and to see if there needs to be any more training or adjustments that need to be made. One thing that many parents would love for their children to take responsibility for is how they are expressing themselves. So are they calm or are they not calm? That's a big one. In fact, many children feel like they can't be calm because of something that happened, when in reality, they can use their free will to choose to be calm. But maybe they need the skills. In fact, maybe everyone in the family could use the skills for calmness. For listening to this video, I have a free gift for you. In the description below this video, there is a link to my Calm Parenting Toolkit. If you click on that link and go to the page that it takes you to, you can have the Calm Parenting Toolkit for free. This is a mini course that is the perfect start to get your family on the pathway to learning self-government. Click on the link below and I will see you there.